Anyway. So we're getting started now. So hello everybody and welcome to a rare Tuesday episode of HP Critical Plus. I'm your host Brandon and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host Christy.
Hi, everybody.
Hey guys, so this is a pretty packed day in gaming. Like 5 games came out today. Though one of them I don't know anything about. It's called Hell Let Loose. I don't know anything about the game. I guess I'll name them in order of their significance. There's Hell Let Loose. Microsoft Flight Simulator came out for Xbox. It's been out on Steam forever, but it's now on Xbox, and a lot of people are excited about that. Surprisingly, Samurai Warriors 5 came out, and Christy is just awash with excitement for Neo: The World Ends with You. it's kind
Pretty
of
much.
it's kind of taken over everything, but of the 5 games that come out today, we're going to be trying out the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I got the physical copy right here. Honestly, having a physical copy of any kind of Ace Attorney game to me is gonna be. Oh, awesome! Gray just got in. He said, "Hey, Brandon, so I happened to watch your first reaction to the game. I think you're gonna love it." Oh, I'm excited! I'm excited. I'm gonna talk a little bit about my excitement for this game in a second, but I just want to say that it's so nice to have a physical Ace Attorney game because those were getting very rare for a while. So full disclosure, I never played. I'm not played. Sorry, I never owned a physical copy of the first 3 games because I had originally bought them on WiiWare, and then I got the digital version on Switch with the HD trilogy. I do have. I'm gonna show it off right now. I do have Apollo Justice Ace Attorney for the DS, which is really good. I actually really enjoy this game. And 5 and 6 never came out physically in the West. Excuse me for a second while I grab something. I hope it's like right behind me. Where is it? Yes, I found it. Awesome. Yeah, so Ace Attorney 5 and 6 never came out. In the darn it, my wire got tangled.
Are you okay there?
I'm trying. I'm really trying. 5 and 6 never came out in the West physically, but I did get them digitally. And oh, I have Miles Edgeworth somewhere. I'm not going to. Nope, but it's right behind me. Never mind. I'm gonna grab it. If it wasn't right behind me, I wouldn't have done it. But here we go. I got Miles Edgeworth physically. It's right here. Investigations 2 never came out in the West. I hope that's the next big duology they do. And I guess the last physical one I can show off is Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. I had never played a Professor Layton game before this, and about a few months after I had finished this, I ended up buying the Curious Village. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but it's definitely one I want.
What?
It's definitely one I want to play soon. Morgan's in chat. He said, I'm hoping to get it soon. Oh, man, yes, absolutely. Grace says, I love the game. One of my faves. I had that one physical, too. So, yeah, there's not a whole lot of physical games that came out for the Ace Attorney series, but I'm glad I got this one and that it did come out. I didn't realize I had so many physicals. I was going to make a tweet earlier today that I was like, oh, man, it's the first physical one I ordered, and then I forgot about all the other ones I had physical. I'm like, oops. Morgan says, screwed up ordering it now. That's what I like to hear. That is what I like to hear. Yeah, I'm very excited for this game because for those who don't know, there was the Great Ace Attorney chronicles 2 different Great Ace Attorney games, neither of which came out in the West initially. Like, they just did it, and it was a very silly reason. It has something to do with Sherlock Holmes. So, for the game's localization, they just named him Herlock Sholmes, which is great. And his assistant, Iris Watson, got her last name, I think, is changed as well to, like, not be Watson. So that they got rid of that as well. But I'm very excited about this game. It takes place in the 19th century. It has a very Japanese/British British theme to it. You're playing as Phoenix Wright's ancestor, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, which it's so weird that we're playing an American game where a character is called Naruhodo because I'm not going to go too much detail because it would break the illusion. But suffice to say, Japan has a slightly different name for Phoenix Wright that involves the name Naruhodo. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, no, I'm just ready to get started because we already got some people waiting to see some reactions. So we're going to go right into it. Are you ready?
Yep.
Let's do this. A new age of cases begin. Oh, by the way, I also want to point this out while we're getting started. Obviously, Christy and I have not finished the first Ace Attorney game. I just want to point that elephant in the room out. We are going to finish that game before we go too deep into this playthrough. We're playing it now because this is the launch day. We wanted to get at least the first case out there so people who are interested could check it out, right? But we are going to finish up the last case of Ace Attorney 1 or the last story case of Ace Attorney 1 before we go too deep into this playthrough. So that's coming soon. It's going to be very soon, actually. More on that in the end of the stream. Awesome. Morgan ordered the game. Woo. All right, loading it up. Oh, I love the Ace Attorney sound effects. Beautiful. Checking for downloadable content. I had downloaded the special content earlier, so that's got added to the game. I will be checking it out. Maybe at the end of the stream, we can show that off maybe. There's an autosave feature, but I'll probably do manual save as well because I'm just used to it. And there we are. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Press A button, Capcom 2021. So let's take a quick look at the menu here. Let's check out the options. So you could turn the music off if you really want to. Effects off, voices, but why would you want to do any of that? Okay, so voices on and off. I wonder how much of this game is voice acted, because for those who played Phoenix Wright, Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, most of that game was just purely text that you had to read yourself, but occasionally some of their lines would be voiced. So I'm wondering if it's the same here. Actually, it'll be a nice break for Christy and myself to occasionally take a break from the reading, I suppose, and also get a better sense of the voices of the characters. Because I honestly, when we've been playing the original Ace Attorney, we've been doing a lot of guesswork on how these characters might sound. Like I know Christy had to pretty much improvise the parrot voice because she just voiced what a parrot would sound like, which I thought was pretty good. Morgan says, I need a nice break from Skyward Sword HD. Grayson says, there's not much. There are some really cool anime cutscenes with full voiceovers, but they're rare. Okay, gotcha. And then gameplay, vibration on, absolutely. Subtitles on, yes sir. Screen flashes on, text skip off, yep. I will, text box, let me see the text box transparency. You can turn off it all. I'm gonna keep it low, I think it's fine. Adjust the length of time to next display and autoplay. Okay, everything looks here is fine. I'll keep the voice to English. Reader. Oh yeah, so this is a new feature that they Marissa's got made it in time. Yes, awesome.
Oh, Marissa.
I'm glad you could make it, Marissa. I know you are one of our mains that come with us in these Ace Attorney streams. We're happy to have you back. So story mode is a new feature that they added. So if you don't feel like playing the video game, you just kind of feel like observing the story, which it's the story of these games are fantastic. You can literally turn story mode on, and it's you can call it kind of like a more intense autoplay, because it not only advances text on its own, it also skips through the whole evidence thing. The game will present the evidence for you, solve the case for you essentially, and so you're just sitting down for the story. It's something that you can do if you really want to. Answers questions, presentation are all handled on your behalf. Some accolades are not available. So yeah, you don't get achievements if you play it this way. But if you really just want to read it as a book and just enjoy the story, like without having solved the cases, it's there. And I know a lot of people, not a lot of people, but I know a few people that would actually really appreciate the mode. Like, because I know that there's actually 2 people I personally know that they've wanted to get in the series because they like the mystery of it, but they feel so much pressure to find the contradictions and find the evidence and whatnot. So this would actually probably appeal to them, because then it becomes a book at that point. But you can treat this stream as your story mode because you're watching us go through it. So there you go. We're happy to be another option for you as well. Anyway, I'm taking a quick look at the special contents here. You can just read the credits right here if you want. Escapades, some short special episodes. We're going to take a look at that another time because I don't know what that is. I want to examine that before I potentially spoil something. And we have the tailor here. I'm going to take just a quick peek at that. So, outfits are only available for use in the Great Ace Attorney 2. So, in that case, I'm not going to look at it too much right now because we're going to be doing the first game right now. Accolades. And most of the accolades is, oh wow. Some of these are pretty in-depth. I'm going to actually take a closer look at these later. But yeah, you'll earn them from play, and we're just going to do our best to try to get them all. Hopefully. If I miss any, I'll have to do it on my own time, on my own file. The gallery. I'm not going to look at the gallery because there's probably spoilers there. Same thing for the auditorium. Alright, so that's pretty much everything that you have there. So, select adventure. So, again, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles 2 games. The first game, which is the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. And you also got the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. Okay, so the original one came out in 2015, originally in the 3DS, whilst the second one came out in 2017, so 2 years later in Japan. Anyways, we're gonna go new game, select adventure. And you can just go straight to the other episodes if you really wanted to. Obviously, I'm not going to do that, though. We're going to start this right from the beginning. So I'm hitting new game now. Let's go see how this story begins.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation.
Actually, for the cutscenes, I think I'm going to turn off my webcam so people can see everything.
To this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide.
Oh. Uh-oh. A murder already. That guy looks like Gregory Edgeworth. What? What?
But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Oh no. Not Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Already. This is pretty tropey for an Ace Attorney game already, I must say. The Adventure of the Great Departure. Awesome. Marissa's like, not the main character. Ooh, I like the sound effect that they're using for the, it's more like a typewriter as opposed to like, a more modern device. So 22nd November, 8:43 a.m. Supreme Court of Judiciary, defendants, antechamber 5. So you can press the minus to do autoplay. You can press plus for option. I'm gonna just look at that real quick. So there you go. You can save and load at any time, just like you always can. Audio, gameplay. Yeah, basically all the stuff is just like, and you can just return to the title if you so choose. And then if you press Y, you get a history of dialogue. Now, we haven't got any dialogue yet, so it says no history available at the moment. But if you forget anything at any point where you're going through this visual novel, which has a lot of information, you can always record back to it, which is a nice feature. Anyway, moving on. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors of this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? What? Oh! No, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Sorry. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow find myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough! He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict in the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Oh, I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Marissa says he's cute, though. Yeah, Kazuma's is pretty cute. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by students. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not! You have to believe me! I didn't do it! I could never murder someone! Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Asugi, my best friend, also in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I. Star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. My qualifications don't mean much. Yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma! It looks like you're going to get study abroad at last. I know! I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Asugi, may I have a word? Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case is personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asugi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then.
I'll accompany you.
Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes. Thanks, Kazuma. This is awkward. If I may. Yes, sorry? Marissa says, God, the animation is beautiful. It really is. It looks... And it's even touched up from it was in the 3DS, so it looks even better. Not that we had a point of reference. Anyways. I'm not bitter. Not at all. You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe? Yes, that's right. My name is Eugene Mikutova. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikutova. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asuki has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know... Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asuki has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. What? As I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asuki may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand! Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it! I swear it! I'm not a murderer! I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry, what do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so... As soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what will the question be? Surely not... Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. It would seem our serendipitous discussions are to be cut short. So, allow me to summarize. Kazumo Asugi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as a defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving! There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazumo's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance to prove my innocence. The trial that will decide my destiny. (22nd November, 9 o'clock a.m. Supreme Court of Judiciary, Courtroom 2. Look at him! He's not ready for this. So this is a courtroom.
Guy.
Oh, he's not ready. Oh, jeez. The Supreme Court of Judiciary. No one in the land has more power. I don't much like the looks of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time, but for now. You need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. It looks just like Pain! That's great.
Right.
The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Ouchie! His name is Ouchie! It's great! Marissa, the amount of wind blowing through this courtroom is a lot. Ouchie. Alright, let me actually read this. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. It's so good, said Gray. It is. It's great. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocates. Predecessor of Winston Payne, yes indeed. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedures for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is unusual circumstances, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do... I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Oh man, already. I'm gonna say wait and see. I gotta know. Kazumo's the lawyer here. I can't defend myself. If I said I do, it would be tantamount to lying. And I've been accused of murder, for goodness sakes. This is no time for lies. Try to stop fidgeting, Ryunosuke. It's distracting. But if I don't say I'll defend myself now, things could end very badly for my friend. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who would advocate for his defense. Oh. Here you go. See, I knew it would happen. the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikutova told me everything, just now before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off? No, it's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes. I knew that's how you feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikutova shouldn't have snuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows the defendant's innocence is so apparent, he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Oh, yes, exactly! Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. He even has a similar expression. It's great. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still. Try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed. As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judiciary of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So, let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes! Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in the case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I'd care to remember. But, wait. I'm so nervous I can't even remember that! What was it again? Ryunosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank? You know me so well. All the relevant information in this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that! It's simple. You can access the court record with a press of the R button. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press R button for the court record? Alright, there's no time to lose. Oh, it's opened up now. Cool, we can look at it. This is the list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people with the R button. You'll find details about the victim in there. When you're done, just press the B button to go back. Alright, so let's see who we have since we have access to this now. So we have Kazuma Asugi, who's only 23 at the moment, a second year at the Imperial Yume University. He's my best friend and, despite being a student, a qualified defense lawyer as well. We have Eugene Mikutova, 42, a medical school professor at the Imperial Yume University. He's an authority in forensic medicine and Kazuma's mentor. Taketsuchi Aochi, 51, the lead prosecutor of this case, who would appear to have little love for the change the cultural reformation has brought about. And John H. Wilson, the victim of this case. He was a visiting professor of medicine at Yume University for the British Empire. John H. Wilson. Is that a reference to something?
I can't really think off the top of my head.
I'm also trying to think of, like, the last name Aochi is easy, but Taketsuchi, I don't know. Anyway, we got the name of John H. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now, you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press X to present. Try it now. Wait, what if I do a wrong one? I'm going to put Ouchie.
Yes!
The victim was none other than Taketsuchi Aochi. Then who's the uptight, respectable top knot standing opposite? Who's the respectable top knot? Sorry, for some reason that just came out even though I know it's wrong. Perhaps you're unaware that I'm a master of the ancient no-style sword art. Pathetic little child like you would be sliced to pieces before you even came close to taking my life. I wouldn't provoke that proud Edo spirit. He might draw his blade on you. I thought courtroom sparring was supposed to be done with words. I must say, you are not instilling the court with much confidence here. Quickly, give him the correct answer before he turns his gavel on you. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press X to try it now. I'm gonna put... Okay, I did not expect a unique answer for Aochi, so now I have to try them all. I'm gonna put Asugi now.
Yes!
He has to raise his hand for each one. The victim was none other than Kasuma Asugi. Oh, then why is that pompous-looking boy with the billowing headband still standing there next to you? Oops! Oops doesn't do that justice. Not content with having killed Dr. Wilson, now you're claiming my murder as well? I haven't killed anyone! Then concentrate and actually read the court record before you answer.
Marissa says that John H. Wilson is a reference to Dr. Watson in Japan. Huh, I didn't know that.
I didn't either. Okay, before he turns his gavel on you. Find the victim in. Now we gotta try Eugene Mikutova.
Yes!
The victim's name is... Stop. You're just saying a random name that you come across in the court record, aren't you? How did you guess? It's blatantly obvious. From your wide-eyed look of bewilderment. That's interesting. Alright, now we'll do the correct answer, which is John H. Wilson.
Yes!
The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to UMA University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such a profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial UMA University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor? But I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think... Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, Let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death. Well, obviously that was, Ryunosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now! Oh, here we go. University collar pin. Proof that I'm a student at the Imperial Yume University. I always wear it on the collar of my uniform jacket. And then here we go. The postmortem report. Fancy way of saying autopsy report. Well, anyway. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. and was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body, so it's still in there, basically. Oh, hang on. Can I examine more? Oh, here we go. Cool. Victim, John H. Wilson, male, British. Time of death, 19th of November, shortly after 2 p.m. Cause of death, single bullet fired at close range. Fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. No exit wound. Bullet did not pass through the body. Okay, so fatal hemorrhage is how he died. Got it. But what if I present the pen? I'm going to do that real quick.
Yes!
The evidence that clearly shows the victim's cause of death is, of course, this. And on what basis do you present this evidence? Well, because it was in the court record, of course. Slow down. Why did you pick that? Isn't there something more relevant looking? Well, now that you say that, I suppose... Pick the wrong piece of evidence again, and it won't be a mystery as to your cause of death. Yikes! He sounds and looks deadly serious. Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now.
Yes!
Here we go. Well... Look at him going through the papers. According to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile! That's the post-mortem report, I take it. Sorry, yes, that's right. The post-mortem report. In the West, the doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet here produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence as the record. A photograph print that shows the victim. He was shot from the front of the chest and subsequently died. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail's incredible. Very well. I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. This is it, then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikutova? Yes. Clearly a defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asagi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Look at this guy. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at the Western-style restaurant called Le Carnaval. Blood? What the hell? Marissa's like, yes, call out the headband.
Probably tuberculosis.
Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really, really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an occasional an occidental eatery, 3 days ago. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. No petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please.
Oh dear.
Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of the day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables to occupy. I like this music, by the way. It's oddly comforting.
It's really nice.
It fits in my memory of it, too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried into the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. And standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
What? Hold! You need to stop saying yes, because that's a bad time to just say yes. Oh.
I know, right?
Oh my god. Hold on, let me just clarify something here. When I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him.
Objection!
I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wished to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur! But the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, defended Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today. Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table? What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Let's wait and see. I desperately want to say something, but I was told not to interject. Ryunosuke, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. I'd never gotten into Yume University otherwise. But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know. If you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. Alright, you scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there is something I want to say. I'm just going to shut my eyes and say it.
Yes!
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Objection!
Dear me, what are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it! I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to. Okay. Let me see. Ah, a sketch of the establishment's layout, drawn by yourself, I presume? That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Wonder why that made him nervous. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. The waiter's business card has been entered into the court record. The head waiter's business card. A sketch of the restaurant's layout is on the back. So, the court has now heard a precis of the case. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I call this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me this trial's unusual, about these peculiarities. You said it, Ryunosuke. You said it. Professor Mikutova said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you just going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecutor to stop making empty threats and bring out his witnesses. Then we'll just see how decisive this evidence really is. Indeed. Prosecutor Ouchi, please continue with proceedings. Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses. Very well. Officer, bring forth the witnesses at once. Oh, here we go. Look at all these witnesses. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir! The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Isa Nosa reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District. Kirio Koritsukuta has your service. Kirio, and he's a curious store. Okay, I get you. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually make tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post new. And not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios of which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war. Sir! It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm. Sir! This man is impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard strange noise during that last thing he said. So, this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Sir, yes, sir! Standing by ready to report, sir! Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. Witness testimony. Here we go. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's action with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. I was on my hands and knees, investigating the whereabouts of my mysterious absconded precious curio. Well, I found the contradiction already. Well, so you, Sergeant, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Marissa also got it. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! That wicked university cadet, sir! The cruel, unforgivable enemy! Wait, what? I also heard a weird sound. What times we live in when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous! I didn't shoot anyone! Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes, all I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, bang! Well, if that's true, there's obviously a criminal in the scene somewhere. By the way, hold on 1 second. I just noticed now that my cam is like blocking some of the dialogue. I'm gonna move myself to the top right and see if that's any better. We'll see. Honestly, it's such a problem though because like I'm using my spare webcam, which is unfortunately just not as good as like my regular webcam. So it's hopefully by the next time we do this next stream, it'll be better. But anyway, I'm just trying my best here. Anyway, well if that's true, there's always a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in those two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now! As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice! Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this.
Yes!
You keep saying yes, man. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this
so
outburst?
Scared.
I mean, the defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How could he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Kazuma's so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it. And the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke! Don't let them beat you! Yeah, no impact! Alright then, it's all or nothing. Not a single impact, it was like a little slap. Poor guy. Cross-examination time, let's do this. Alright, so there's our press button. It's at the L. Now, they're probably not going to give us a tutorial on the press... Oh, god darn it. I have to put this on the top left because I'm blocking the health meter.
Oh no.
Alright, we're figuring this out. Let me just look at something real quick. I'm going to hit the present button. I'm not going to present anything yet. I just want to... what am I looking for? You press R to, like, switch to, like, people, right? Or can I not do that right now? Okay, I can't do that right now because I'm in the middle of the testimony. I'll wait till a statement comes up, then I'll do that. Anyway. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having tactical with the old man. Press.
Yes!
He says yes for everything. Why? Why aren't you saying anything? Is this some new interrogation technique? I hadn't actually thought of what I wanted to ask. Just ask about anything that catches your attention. Anything that bothers you. Alright then, his hand raised again. This beefsteak you mentioned, what kind of food is that? Attention! Oh! Beefsteak is a delicious cut of veal, vigorously cooked on a cast iron grill and served piping hot. Oh. If food could receive medals of honor, beefsteak would be almost as highly decorated as a cutlet. Right, I see. Thank you, sir. So, next question. This cutlet you mentioned, what kind of food is that? Attention! Cutlet is a delicious cut of veal tossed in breadcrumbs and deep fried in cooking oil. Accept your guilty verdict, atone for your crimes, and when you're released from prison, try it! Yes, sir. I will, sir. On the double, sir. Sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to stick to questions that are relevant to the case? Oops, sorry. I'll do my best. So, next question. Is it just me, or do you keep hearing a sort of wah crying noise? Negative! I heard it again, too. Well, at least we've learned that he's a big beef lover. Affirmative. It's not easy knowing what questions to ask. Oh, I got a Prime Press reward. Nice. Myself, I was told the virtues of particularly fine golden carrier to the military general press.
Yes!
Okay, while I'm in the first statement, I'm going to check the court record. Let me see something. I want to see if it's updated with the people that we have now. Yep, here we go. Satoru Hosonaga, 29. The head waiter of a European-style restaurant, La Carnival. He was serving there on the day of the incident. Iesa Nosa, 38. Oh, I get it! It's like, yes, sir, no, sir. That's great. That's great. An Army sergeant of the Empire of Japan who witnessed the incident. And Kirio Korikuta. The owner of Rasute, an antique shop situated on the street corner in the second district. He's a witness to the incident. Am I mispronouncing his last name? Could that be the pun?
It's probably Korekuta.
Korekuta?
Oh, curator.
Yeah, that makes it.
Korekuta.
Kirio Kureta. I get it. Thanks, Marissa. Oh, man, that's great. All right, let's keep going then. Anyway, I have no idea what you're talking about. A koban, boy. A koban? You mean an old Edo coin? Finger gun, she says. The day prior to the incident, a treasure of exceptional value from the Hoei period entered my possession. I took myself to the restaurant the following day with said item secreted in my bosom pocket in the hope of an affluent cognotes appraised of its indisputable value being present. So, you were hoping to sell your koban coin? Sergeant Nosa, who you met at the restaurant? Yes, it's quite clear where you're going with this, boy. You were about to assert that a penniless soldier would have no hope of purchasing a precious koban. Isn't that so? Well... You little upstart cadet! You want to add disrespecting a superior officer to your list of crimes, do you? Blatant subordination! No, I didn't say anything. Although penniless might be just the word I was looking for. In any case, the hour was already advanced beyond that of the midday luncheon. There remained precious few present with whom I could engage in discourse about matters of business. The gentleman beside me, who was grappling with his braised veal at the time, was my sole prospect. I see. At the precise moment a firearm was discharged, I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes press.
Yes!
So, you're saying that you actually saw me at that time? Affirmative! I saw you! Laughing, cackling, like a madman as you trained the barrel of your gun on the English civilian! But that's impossible! I only... Allow me to confirm just one point, please. What's that, Private? Thinking carefully about the statement you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you looked over to the victim's table. And so what if it was? Well, if that really is the case, it would mean that you didn't in fact see the precise moment the killer actually fired the gun. And double My sixth sense. Sorry? My sixth sense of danger. I picked up the waves of murderous energy radiating from your foul mind. Which means, a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, cadet. Surely that's not really possible, is it? Do you think I've gotten where I am today in the army if I couldn't sense danger in the air, son? Well, it would seem this soldier is absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. This is not good. Marissa's like, not cackling. Oh my god, not the murder stuff from his mind. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian and from the back the cowardly little weasel press.
Yes!
So this black uniformed university cadet, you're saying that was... Ugh! I've had just about enough of your sauce, cadet! Who else do you see around here in a black uniform, Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits the description as well, but... It was you, you little weasel! You unloaded the firearm on that man! From behind his back! And you call yourself a citizen of the great empire of Nippon? You disgust me! What is it, Ryunosuke? I'm not quite sure. Not the sauce, she says. It's something that the sergeant just said, but I can't put my finger on it. Something's playing on my mind. In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you've gathered in the court record. And if you find an inconsistency there with what the witness just said, then don't hold back. Present the evidence to the court, thrust it into the witness's face, and make him choke on it. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of the man mysteriously absconded previous curio press.
Yes!
On your hands and knees? Could you explain that, please? That's right. Spurning the arthritis I was in order to retrieve the lost piece. What lost piece are you referring to? The koban, of course! The exquisite Hoei-era koban coin! I had just been showing the rare treasure to the military man as he masticated his meal. After averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished! The koban. Vanished? Hence, I began to acquaint myself with the intricacies of the floor in order to locate it. And then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? None other than that was no concern of mine. I was frantically scouring the floor to the aforementioned lost treasure. So, in fact, you didn't actually witness the precise moment when the incident occurred? Indeed. Myself, I did not. Ugh, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. Listen, Ryunosuke. We know there are lies lurking in these statements. It's time to expose them. I understand that. The question is, how? Like I said before, the key to this is using evidence that you've collected. You can examine and present evidence while a witness is giving testimony by pressing the R button. Go through each witness statement and the details about each piece of evidence and compare all the facts. Somewhere in there, you find something that doesn't add up. In other words, an inconsistency. When you find a statement and a piece of evidence that seem to contradict each other, present your evidence with X button. Rip the witness apart. Just be careful, because you assert a contradiction that has no basis, you'll be given a penalty. If you're dealt too many penalties, the defense case will fall apart and you'll receive a guilty verdict. So that's it. Peruse the evidence in the court record and find an inconsistency with the witness statements. Alright, I'll give it a try. You can hear the witness's statements over and over again, as many times as you like. So keep your head and be measured in your attack. Good luck, partner. I really like Asugi. He's a good guy. Alright, I'm skipping over to the statement. The black and from the back. Okay. We should have the evidence that you shot from the front of the chest. Here it is. Present. Photograph of victim.
Yes!
What? What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache! Inconsistency, sir! I mean, yes! There's a clear inconsistency here. The long silences were perfect, Marissa says. What nonsense! What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Oh, that's a familiar pose.
It is.
Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Iesunosa. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniform varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! I witnessed a crime with my own military great eyes, sir!
Yes!
Stop saying yes to these fears. But no, that just can't be. And why not, cadet? Because... Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Ah! Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Wait, I see. Ah! Oh! Well, Huh? What the... What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he just pushed it down again? Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm charge, my eyes were... Oh, there it is again. Firmly fixed on the delicious La Carnival steak. Sir! What? The last testimony the court has heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. It's like, how cute. This witness, Sergeant Iesa Nosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Ooh. Ah! Inconsistencies here awarded. Nice. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. Ah, he said the title. But I definitely saw him! That University Connect there! He's pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back!
Yes!
But I never fired the gun! All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Oh yes, you were looking for your Koban coin, weren't you? Indeed, the prize Hoei or a Koban. Hunting around under the table, I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there. And then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoei treasure. Nothing could distract me! Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hoei Koban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. As I am sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British, it would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Ouchie? Yep, this afternoon was... Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could have possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir! At once, sir! Awaiting signal to testify, sir! Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative! The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name, Ido. It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeants being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ido, 10 shot! Your father is about to quell the enemy! Watch and learn, boy. Oh, this is kind of cute. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I don't know, sir.
Nah. I don't know, sir.
So funny.
I don't... Oh, I get it. I don't know, sir. I get it. I get it. I don't know, sir. Wait. Hold on. I gotta see the court record. Is he in the... Is he in... No. Okay. I just have to see. The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was charged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniform cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out! These testimonies are certainly compelling. Oh! Wait! That's nonsense! The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman! There was a young woman at his table! You must have seen her! Everyone there must have seen her!
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. This is a photograph printed at the scene of the crime, counsel. Indeed, at the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can plainly be seen, there's only one place set. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. This doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. A bottle of carbonated water and a steak lunch can be seen on the victim's table. Okay. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true! I saw her! I swear that I saw a woman with him! It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Taketsuchi Auchi, will have contributed to the amity of these great two empires is an honor. How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick. Understood? Rules can be so unbending at times. Even if I was impressed the moment the firearm was charged, it's almost the same thing. Press.
Yes!
No! It's not the same thing at all! For a start, I didn't fire that gun! We have a different opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it. Have what? Attention! The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all, don't you? And let us not forget that the antiques dealer witnessed the accused in his most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Kurikuta-san? Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was that young man in black. That much I did most of the seat press.
Yes!
Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time. But I've told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away. I had just finished drinking my coffee, and I was about to leave the restaurant when... I noticed a gun at the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And at exactly that moment... a gunshot rang in my ears. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry, what do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas conversely, I failed to pick up the Koban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as well. No, Marissa, I don't think the gun is currently in the evidence at the moment. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you. With pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. Furthermore, visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Press.
Yes!
You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Attention!
As you have been in pains to point out time and time again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. Ugh. If only there'd been more people dining there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner at any restaurant. I know. Of course the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of the time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at her clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Hada Clinic? Oh no, not Hada Clinic!
Oh my goodness.
I can't believe this. Ah! That's a reference to an Ace Attorney game that we haven't done on stream yet for everyone curious. We're just going to move on though, because we got to keep going. Yes, there would appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case. I wonder... What do you think, Ryunosuke? Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report to be submitted as evidence or not? I'm going to say better not for now, because I want to see what the dialogue will say. I'm not sure I can really push for it to be submitted as evidence if I don't even know why it might be relevant. That wouldn't be good court etiquette, surely. Don't tell me you're worrying about court etiquette at a time like this. My father always brought me up to be respectful and polite. Right now, we can't afford to overlook anything, no matter how insignificant it may seem to be. So let's ask for this medical report card to be added to the record. It won't be a problem, assuming you're polite. Alright, I'll do it. As politely as possible.
Yes!
If I might, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence will be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
Whether or not they have concern is for us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon. You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense requests. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's a most disturbing trend. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. A medical report card from Hada Clinic that was found in the victim's pocket. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you'd like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you've forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Korakuta-san. Marissa says, because I said so, those grounds. Alone, he's the Englishman dining by himself, press.
Yes!
So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone. That I did. Forgive me for the position I place you in. So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have here to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there is only a single beefsteak on the victim's table, a meal for one. No. The antique dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. Okay, therefore no one other than the black uniform cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out, press.
Yes!
Why aren't you telling the truth? What? What did you say, cadet? I clearly remember. There's a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely! In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But I... If such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of the phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. How exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press A and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use the right stick in any direction to rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using the left stick, you can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. I need to use the right stick, left stick, and the A button to inspect any areas of the evidence that look suspicious. Alright, let's do this. Oh, that's cool. The text will say what it says. Medical report card required for every visit. Name Mr. John Wilson Hada Clinic. Let's examine this. It says Hada Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. Ugh. I'll never forget it. Never my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have had only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. What's the stamp here? Oh, we can't. Dentist Hada Clinic. Date record. Okay, let's see that. It looks like this medical report card was first issued quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment, that's why. With a family doctor, I imagine. Well, I can't imagine. Going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point. So, you don't like doctors, then? Why would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine, they give you painful injections, and then they demand lots of money from you for the privilege. All when you're at your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient. With a bad case of stubbornness, no less, for which the only cure is a very bitter medicine indeed. Oh, I got the healthy cure one. Ooh, look at this little fold here. What do we have here? I'm gonna check the left side here. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Ah, and there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they use laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you from feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. Ooh! Ooh! So that plate wasn't his! Ooh! Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. Here we go. Ah, look at this. A record of dental work. On the day of the murder, the victim had undergone dental treatment and been prohibited from eating or drinking anything but water. With this new information, the meaning of one particular statement totally changes. So, I think it's time to listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely.
I'm so sorry, but I'm really just not feeling well, so I might just have to leave.
That's okay. I'm still gonna finish up the first case, and it really doesn't seem like there's gonna be any like females talking. I think I'm okay. Yeah, I'm gonna finish up the first case. Go ahead and get some rest, and hopefully you feel better. We will pick this up next time we play.
Okay, sounds good.
Marissa,
Bye, everybody.
Wait, before you go, Marissa says, "I love you, Chrissy. Hope you feel better." Yes, I feel. Yes, please feel better.
Thank you. Love you too, Marissa.
Catch you later. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So let me go ahead and turn off my Discord on this side real quick. Give me one quick second. Okay, so I don't need these anymore. Give me 1 second. Oh, I can hear so much more now. Let me just fix myself real quick. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up at least the first case. I must say these cases are a bit longer than the cases in the original games, but I'm actually okay with that. I prefer longer cases, but oh boy, knowing that each one is probably gonna be about this length, we definitely have to think hard about how long these parts are gonna be, because we're an hour and a half in on the first case. Oh man, that's good. That's fine. Let's go ahead and finish this up though. Dining by himself, I think that's the statement we have to go with. Yes, okay. I think this is the one we have to present. Let's go ahead and try it.
Yes.
Yep, that was the one. That was the one. Well, I think, what are you withering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could, but first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Ryunosuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright. And thanks for the advice. Korokuta-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim. Ah, I see. And I don't see. What of it, boy? That smirk. Yeah, Kazuma's great. Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement. Something clearly doesn't add up.
Attention!
Oops, I almost dropped my controller. Dear me, dear me. Have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. But that's, Remember, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There is surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court has heard has been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who could possibly have perpetrated the crime. This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that? What? That outburst half petrified me, boy! Of course I believe it! How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hara Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. Ooh, hear this song? This is the objection thing. Let's go. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted. What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating. Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat? So what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't... Kotokuta-san. What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more? You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. Ooh, his impact finally had impact. Ooh, here we go. Let's go. But that cannot possibly be the case. Ugh. Because the victim, as we now know, had just one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Ah! Ooh, hear this objecting thing. Oh, I love it. Turn this up a little bit. Expertly done, partner. I'm about it, man. Ryunosuke is finally getting his groove. Finally getting his groove. I love it. What is this nonsense? You little upstart! These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic? How dare you? I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Yes, most definitely. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating the pictured beefsteak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel? Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been... I'm going to do some joke answers because, we got some time to play. The victim himself. No impact because that was the wrong answer. The victim himself, obviously. What? Ryunosuke, come on. Pull yourself together. The victim couldn't have been eating at the time. You just told the court that yourself. Oh, yes. Of course. I thought it didn't sound quite right. Look, you've even stunned the judge with that ludicrous answer. Alright then, I can use this state of shock to give me time to think, and come up with the right answer. I suggest you think it through more carefully, and try not to shock him in the first place. You're right, sorry, The victim could have just said, yo, sorry, anyway, just saying. Man, if you had a tooth removed, I don't know if... I couldn't imagine the pain. Like, I've never had a tooth removed, but I have had tooth aches in the past, and boy, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Must have been me.
Yes.
I think it may have been me. What?
Objection!
It's not enough that you took the man's life, but you took his meal as well? That's a bee sting on a crying face. Some people seem to think they can do whatever they like. And some people seem to think they can say whatever they like. Ryunosuke. Sorry, you're right. Of course I didn't eat it. The next time you make a quip like that, I'll make you eat your words. Then you'll be needing some dental surgery yourself. Alright, I get the message. It must have been the two witnesses. Again, no impact. I bet it was the sergeant and antiques dealer, Nosa-san and Korakuta-san.
Are you taking the cake, cadet? You think I'd share rations with this decrepit graybeard?
Insult me by associating me with this brutish carnivore, would you? You were both present at the scene. Neither of you can deny that you had the opportunity.
You addle-brained idiot! I had my own regulation beefsteak set before me at my own table. And as any soldier worth his salt will tell you, you seize whatever rations are put in front of you.
It would seem you may need to reconsider your answer, Counsel. Of course, Your Excellency. Alright, let's give the right answer now. An as of yet unknown third party. Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table.
Objection!
You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person!
Yes!
There was, because I saw her! When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial relentlessly. Kazuma, are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, Counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issue with them, those two witnesses in the stand. What?
What are you talking about?
We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury.
Perjury?
And, since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in murder? No!
Negative! There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders.
That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they, told us. Oh. What? What did you just say, Korakuta-san? Oh, no. You were just following orders?
Now, hold on, lad. I was,
Say you never saw the gentlewoman? When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? Oh, look at this. Oh, listen to this, like, a tension theme in the British tone. What?
Objection!
What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? It is true, you pair?
Just one simple slip of the tongue. Order! Order! Counsel, explain what is going on here.
It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? Well,
that's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening.
Ryunosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Ouchi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can't affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we'll need evidence before we can make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield this kind of his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly... Remember how we made progress before? Before, we examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe. Please, wait. Your Excellency, I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing. And what does the defense have to say about all this? Well, Your Excellency. No time to think. I'm just going to have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes into my head. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses... Wait, hang on. With the necessary... Wait a second. I didn't get a chance. Damn it, I didn't get a chance to look through my... I should have done that earlier. It could have been the professor. Because he's a waiter. Eugene Mikutova?
Yes!
Let me look at the court record. I did not get a chance to examine. Let me see if it might be the right answer already, but I want to just take a quick look. Oh, I didn't even notice we could do all this. The magnifying glass here. It might be the professor, but let me see something. Oh yeah, I didn't see this. Like, let me look at this real quick. This plan of the restaurant raised a number of questions, I think. Definitely. It's supposed to show the relative position of everything in the moments following the incident. But there's nothing to show the woman you say you saw there. Exactly! That's not all. Look here in the upper left, where it says kitchen. Oh yes, what of it? No one would use those complicated characters to write kitchen, especially not if they're in a hurry. You mean you don't remember those characters yourself, don't you? Study harder, Ryunosuke. Kitchen... Let me see something real quick. Oh, let me skip all this because I thought there was something unique on the X, but I guess not. Wait, hold on. No, I'm wrong because Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga. That's why he didn't want us to look at the card because it reveals that he's actually an inspector. Ooh, no, I did the wrong answer then. It wasn't the professor. Darn it. When they give me those opportunities, I need to take them, man. That's my own fault. I'm going to take a penalty now. Oh, well. So, Satoru is the one. There. What do you make of that? I think, Counsel, that you may want to close your ears as well as your eyes. Otherwise, the size of disappointment in the courtroom may very well deafen you. If you feel you must close your eyes in a crisis, might as just you keep your mouth shut next time, too. Otherwise, I may have to use the influence I have in this courtroom to shut it. Permanently! I don't know what it is about the prosecutor exactly, but he really makes me wince in pain sometimes. Oh, that was worth it. Wince in pain. I don't have a great deal of influence myself, but believe me, I can find other ways to make you keep your mouth shut as well. Alright, don't get angry. I'll think again. There must be a clue somewhere in all that evidence in the court record. Oh wait, I didn't actually examine it. I just kind of like, hold on. I just noticed it, but I didn't actually examine it. Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected, it's his job title. His job? Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence, if they're wielding it somehow here. Oh, there we go, it's updated. On the front it stated that Hosonaga-san is a police inspector. Oh, I'm glad I expected that. That changed the evidence. Oh shoot, now I gotta look at... Can I examine this? I'm examining everything now, we're just getting into it. Ah, the symbol of Yume University. Every student wears this pin with pride. It's funny, most emblems seem to be either round or rectangular. I like the spike design, even though it doesn't really make any sense. Although, it does cause problems. Lots of students end up cutting their fingers on their badges. Perhaps it was the idea of one of the founders. A sharp pin for a sharp mind or something? Nothing else really to look at here. We already looked at the photo. Let me look at this photo real quick. Okay, I think we got everything we need to right now. There might be some piece of evidence I haven't thoroughly examined yet. Okay, alright, no time. Come on, say the right name. The only person with enough influence was Satoru Hosonaga.
Yes!
Well, surely that would be Satoru Hosonaga-san. Hosonaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier?
Objection!
Puppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter. What? If he truly were? Come on, Ryunosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hosonaga's identity, as proven by this evidence. Here, the business card.
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question. I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we conclude anything. Sorry, Excellency. That's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's interest. I beg your pardon. Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes! It's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. The waiter's profession, but that's surely... Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power, as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you see this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well... Huh? Who said hold it?
Oh, Satoru! Inspector Hosonaga!
He's back. I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake.
So, you mean to say, you really are a detective?
But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter?
Ah, of course! Your salary must be
I was working undercover.
Undercover?
Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga, but you will elaborate at one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you require these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency.
Unbelievable!
As I suspected. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say... Remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders.
But what if this Englishwoman was the killer?
I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as a primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case.
But it's not right!
One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yuma University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain, and I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying the medical facilities research laboratory, is a young Englishwoman.
What?
You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour.
You mean...
When I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The Englishwoman sitting at the university professor's table was a certain Miss Giselle Brett. Giselle Brett? She's indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yume University's medical faculty. What? What is happening here? I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to your excellency to decide how to deal with this situation. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be the desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point.
Objection!
But your excellency! That would be missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send a telegraphic report to Great Britain! Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions. Calm yourself, counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes, sir. You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, your excellency. But that means you're going out against the special orders you were given from the police bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So, it won't be a problem? Nothing will get in my way. Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes. Your Excellency! Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. To be continued. Wow, that was just 2 hours for that first part. Oh boy. I thought we could get case 1 finished in time. But we're already 2 hours in. Oh boy. I think I'm going to have to call it there for now. Oh man. I gotta say, this first case definitely a step up from the previous games where usually you can finish the first case within an hour. We're 2 hours in. I think there's the halfway point maybe. Her name is that Giselle or is it Giselle Brett? Giselle Brett. I'm trying to figure out the pun here. I can't figure it out. Look at all these files you can get here. You got your autosave, but how many files do we actually have? You have up to 20 files. That's incredible. And the Ace Attorney game never gave you that much files. Usually you get maybe 3 or 4. 20 is nuts. 20 is absolutely crazy. But I'm about it though. Trial Part 2. It's translated from Japanese again. I guess I didn't know about the name. Okay. Let me go back to the title screen actually. Because we saved there. I'm probably going to finish it up next time. Let me go ahead and head back to the title for now. Save current progress. Let's head back to the title. So I do want to take just a quick peek at something else before we, So yeah, you can load the adventure. Oh, it's just here. Okay, that's cool. Again, I'm probably not going to look at the pictures. Well, I can peek at it without actually going in detail. Let me see. Wait, what? Special Trial 2017? Oh, look at all this. What is all this? I better not, I better not look at any of this right now because it looks like the fact that Phoenix Wright is right there tells me that probably none of this is canon. It's probably just some promotional stuff. But I ain't gonna risk it. I may look at it near the finale of the Chronicles, but And yeah, look, you can see the portraits of the characters. Again, not going to look at that right now. That's something we can look at later. Accolades. We've already gotten a few of them. We got the inconsistencies here. For having successfully presented evidence in the first cross-examination that occurs in both in 1 and 2. Okay, that's cool. I'll take a close look at this later, but like I said earlier in the stream, that's pretty much just, and then musical, you can just listen to the voice recitals.
Objection.
Oh, you can hear them say the lines. That's cool. But again, probably spoilers, so I'm not going to look too deeply into that right now. And then you can just literally listen to all the music as well. I love all the options you have. It's very cool. Well, anyways, that's going to conclude part 1 of the Ace Attorney Chronicles. That first case is pretty lengthy. We really thought we were going to get a first case done, but here we are. At least we're about halfway through. We can finish the rest next stream. Which, I just want to go ahead and announce this now. This Friday, we normally do Skyward Sword HD. But, again, we had said at the beginning of the stream that we still have to finish the original Ace Attorney. We have the last case, well, case 4 of the first game. So we're going to be taking Friday's stream to finish that up. So the stream is going to start either at 7:30 or normal time at 8 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, it's going to be the finale of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney 1. And then once we're done with that game, then we can, focus more heavily on the Great Ace Attorney. But we want to make sure we get the first game finished. We don't want to start a whole nother Ace Attorney game without finishing the first. I mean, we kind of did tonight, but I don't want to go any further until we have that game done. So that's going to be our priority for Friday. We're going to do that, have it all finished up. And then the week following will be back to normal with Skyward Sword HD. So that's what's going on there. Tomorrow at 8 p.m., doing another episode of Fortune Street, Brandon's Fortune Street Night. Going to be doing the Super Mario Brothers board, so that should be a lot of fun. And if we're free during this weekend, then we'll probably do another part of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I will say that this playthrough is not really going to be a scheduled one, unfortunately, because our schedule is quite full right now. So we are going to try to do it on weekends when the two of us are free. That's pretty much what it's going to be. And if you want to know when those parts come out, you'll kind of have to keep an eye on our social media for when it happens. But again, we're looking on doing those in like Saturday and Sunday nights when the two of us are free of any given time. That's when you'll pretty much see some new parts. And it's just going to be that way for a while because, as I can clearly see, this is going to be a long game. Much longer than the first one because, again, we're only halfway through the first trial and this was a nice 2-hour stream. So there's plenty more to go through, but that's okay. We're going to have a good time with all this. So yeah, follow our social media because that'll get you updates on all of our upcoming streams, articles that we put out for the website, as well as posts that we do. We're on Instagram at HP Critical Gaming. We're on Facebook at HP Critical, and our Twitter handle is at critical_HP. So yes, definitely check out the website itself, hpcritical.com. We have many articles written by writers like myself and Christy, who was here earlier, available on gaming and other topics like movies, shows, anime, books, and more. And our site is constantly getting new content, so definitely check every day for new stuff. Just today, Christy had uploaded an article detailing her top 5 favorite songs from Kingdom Hearts 35 Days Over 2, as well as Kingdom Hearts Recoded. So definitely check that article out now, because it is out. Social media should have it as well if you want to check that link as well. Oh boy, I've been talking a lot today. Gotta wrap this up. But while you're on the website, you can also sign up for our newsletter. And if you do that, you'll get monthly emails on our top-rated articles, stream schedule information, podcast information, info on upcoming tournaments and play sessions, Patreon info, and every newsletter. Thank you to all our Patreon supporters as well. Yes, I did mention a stream schedule. We are getting very, very close to the end of July. Like, August is going to be like, I think Sunday is the first day of August. So yeah, we're getting really close to the end of July. I am going to be uploading our new stream schedule very soon, so you guys can know what's coming up in August. Keep an eye on the website, keep an eye on social media, and the newsletter won't hurt as well. To keep up to date with everything we're doing. August, there's going to be plenty of stuff going on in August, so definitely have a look at that. But yeah, if you want to support us, we're on Patreon. You can support us at patreon.com/hpcritical. If you support us there, every month you get goodies like bracelets and stickers. You will also be able to have a spot on our weekly podcast that we do. We record every Thursday night, and if you want to be interested in our podcast where we talk about all the biggest gaming news, support us on Patreon. We maybe just have you as a guest. We'd love to have you. Second way you can support us is if you go on our website. We have our Teespring store. We have all kind of stuff from like t-shirts, mugs, baby clothes, beach towels, blankets, literally all kind of different things, and they come in all kinds of different colors. So check out the merchandise store. Might find something you like. And if you have an Amazon Prime account or a Twitch Prime account and you haven't used your free subscription yet, consider subscribing to us. We stream 3 to 4 times a week. And if you subscribe, you get cool emotes that you can use in any of our chats. We appreciate it. And with that, if you want to follow me personally, I am at Mr. Louis Don on Twitter. And Christy's no longer here, but she was here earlier, so I'm going to link her Twitter if you guys want to follow her. She's at RubyAmber5 on Twitter, so you can follow her there if you'd like as well. And with that, thank you guys so much for coming out to the Ace Attorney Chronicles launch stream / part 1 of our playthrough. There will be more to come in the coming weekends. Again, stay updated on our social media to know when that's happening. We hope to see you guys on Friday for the finale of the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney 1 game. And everything else that we're doing. So until then, I'm very excited to continue this game, guys. So I hope to see you guys there too. Have a good night, guys. Take care.